Hello and a warm welcome to another edition of To The Point. Environment Ministry in the last 1 year has been making headlines for very many reasons. But there's one man who's fielded the toughest questions from the critics and the activists. But whether has he been able to convince them is still something to be watched out for. Joining me now is Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Mr. Prakash Javadekar. Mr. Javadekar, welcome on To The Point.
Thank you. I always like to talk to Rajya Sabha TV and in your program. Neelu.
Mr. Javadekar, let me begin by asking you what the journalists had an impression of this ministry and what they say now. Initially, they used to say that things were moving very slow, but now the things have been accelerated to such a pace that the journalists are finding it hard to report on an everyday basis.
But I also don't want everybody to report every day. It's not a running commentary. It's the serious business of government.
Okay.
And in that, you have to take decisions. And what we have decided, and that's the Modi hallmark, Modi stamp on governance is, we don't discriminate. We don't take individual cases, decision on individual cases. We do it transparently and we take policy decisions. So whoever is into that policy framework will get permission. Who is not, will not get.
But do you think that's a reason why from a roadblock ministry, it's now known as a clearance ministry?
No, but that's also a little unfair to what we are doing. We are actually, we are not only giving approvals to projects. We are more doing for conserving the nature. I'll just mention 3-4 things.
Right.
First, we have introduced Campa Bill. What it is? It was a 10 years of frustrated attempts by all activists also to unleash the amounts which were deposited for compensatory afforestation as well as the net present value of the forest which was deposited, but it was meant for greening India, greening the degraded forest, but it never went. Okay. Now I have brought a bill releasing 38,000 crore of rupees for greening of degraded forest and greening the urban and rural India. And to that
which will
end,
ultimately increase the forest cover of the country.
that is what is my first action. Okay. Second, pollution is a big problem. We have launched National Air Quality Index. And Delhi, I have taken cooperation of all the 4-5 state governments concerned, UP, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Delhi, and also NDMC and Delhi Police and everybody. We are working a 3 months program and it is yielding results.
Right.
And at the same time, we launch 3 years ambitious program.
Right.
So, on that air quality front. Third, Western Ghats. Things were not moving at all. I have ordered that people must be consulted.
Basically, these are lofty decision-making processes which you're talking about, which your government has taken. But I will go one by one, according to the charges which your ministry has faced over the last 1 year, beginning with
I like to be in the courts.
Okay, starting with the TSR Rajamaniyam committee report. It was said that it was a hasty report, which was full of inaccuracies. 1 year down the line, when the process is under review, do you really feel that that committee, the recommendations with which it came out were actually not up to the mark?
No, I will not say. See,
because people said that it was pro-business and pro-investor friendly.
They are wrong for 3 things. Okay. First, the laws of environment were made in 1986.
Right.
The forest law latest is 1980. So all have, means they need revamp. Because with one generation passing in that regime, you need to improve upon. And therefore, what we are doing is, somewhere you have to start. So we appointed committee under TSR Subramaniam. It did excellent work in tackling all problems, all perception issues, all scientific management issues, and has come out with 55 recommendations.
But a lot of questions were raised on the constitution of the committee.
That was not. That was about something else. That was also out of ignorance.
Okay.
This committee we mandated. It gave excellent report, but this is recommendations.
Right.
This is not government decisions.
Right.
What I did, I am complete Democrat. So I sent it to all chief ministers. I sent it to all central ministers. And I followed it up so that they give their opinion. Right. Now major states and majority of ministries have given their opinion. So that's democracy. Then we had the National Conference of Environment Ministers. There we discussed. I had 3 Chintan Shivers.
But sir,
of
what
my
was
ministry.
your initial reaction when the report came out
No,
with
report
its
that-
recommendations? Because
see-
activists cried for...
See, there is unfortunately, there are some people have monopolized the space of activism.
Okay.
But they are not the only activists. People who are working on the ground, in jungles, in tribals, in environment field, in wildlife, they are many different. Those who are monopolized in Delhi are different people. So what we did, we are taking everybody on board. And
But
we
sir,
made
do you
it public. We made these recommendations also public. So we have received views from public also. And therefore, this was the
But
first
there were
basic
accusations when
input.
they were
No.
inviting public comments. They said that they invited comments, but there was a caveat to it that the comments shouldn't come more than 1,000 characters.
No. You are
So-
You are wrong. You are talking about the committee's public interaction.
Right.
I am talking about interaction, my interaction with people,
Okay.
with state chief minister, with states officials, with all stakeholders after the report was submitted. And so we submitted. We have now got all views. We are now discussing it, deliberating upon it, and we'll every of the recommendation of TSR Subramaniam may not be accepted, but there are very many valuable suggestions which should be taken carry
So
forward.
you're
And
ready to
people
go
have agreed.
slow at the moment
No,
with-
not
as far
go
as the
slow. We have already appointed a law firm also. We have already introduced one part of it is Campa bill. The another bill is ready where we are increasing the penalties for violation.
But Mr. Javadekar, why are the green activists still saying that
No,
this
you-
ministry is
you
still
come out
working
of-
for the industry?
No,
It's more investor friendly.
We are working for the country. We are working for the environment. I took a decision, 6,000 kilometers of border road we cleared.
Right.
We cleared all defense infrastructure projects within 100 kilometers of LAC. The policy is very simple. If country is secured, then only environment can be secured. To secure environment, I need to first secure my country. And therefore, we are doing it without compromising. I have made environmental norms more stringent.
But sir, there are few points on which the questions are still being raised.
No,
For example,
not raised. You
So,
just
for
come out,
example-
1 minute. Just come out, Neelu, with these so-called activists. Read people who are really working with people.
So I'm going to talk about the people itself.
So, but
There-
they are not. They are
provision-
not raising an issue.
the-
They are actually welcoming our step of going to 7,000 villages and asking villagers which kind of development you don't want, which kind of developmental activities you want restricted, which kind of developmental activities you want to permit
But
it.
sir, what about
So,
doing
I
away with the
have-
provision
has-
of the Forest Rights Act
Has
as far as the,
Congress regime anytime gone door to door in 7,000 villages? No time. I am doing it. And that is why we are democratic.
But sir, I want to clarify a few points and feel free to do that. I'm talking about the provision of the Forest Rights Act where the prior informed consent is done away with. What is
said?
happening on that front?
No, who said?
People are saying Gram
Ha.
Sabhas,
No, that
Gram
is why.
Sabhas will
1
not
minute.
be taken into
1 minute.
consideration.
That is why those who read only one side of the story always get it wrong, because Forest Right Act is a domain of tribal ministry,
Okay.
Tribal Rights Act. So that is not my act. I can't amend the other ministry's act. There was larger public consultation within the ministries. Their ministries expressed their opinion,
Okay.
but decision is that of the domain ministry, and domain ministry has not.
So there is clearly a very strong impression on the ground
No,
that,
not ground.
that the government
On
is trying to
ground-
muzzle the
No,
voice of
1
the
minute.
voiceless.
Actually, it is the other way around. It is, we are on the ground, we are the largest tribal MPs. Tribals have reposed faith in Modi's leadership.
Okay.
Because of Vanabandhu Kalyan Yojana, because of tribal welfare. Do you know?
So which means
1
that if-
minute. Tribals were exploited in even minor forests. In Congress regime, they used to bring glue or honey or many other valuable minor forest produce, and they were bartered, they were exploited. Congress never protected tribals. We protected, we are giving now minimum support
So
price.
which means that the Gram Sabhas, the question which I was asking, Gram Sabhas will be given equal importance as far as...
It is already there. Nothing has been diluted. That's a canard, and your channel must now ask those who are spreading canards, because there are certain agencies which don't want India to be developed. They speak one language in India, go in America and speak other language.
So you're talking about particularly about the NGOs.
No, I'm not talking about anybody. Those who spread canards. There are some
the
people
NGOs.
with vested interest who have foreign funding and who have an agenda to ensure that India should not
So
develop.
sir, is it because of this reason that the NDA government has come down heavily on such kind of NGOs?
No, I'm not, because we have
Spreading
not.
canards,
No, no. I have not. We have not gone against anybody else. But we have now collecting, and we are getting support from all the NGOs who are really working in the field. Those who are only sitting in Delhi and talking in through newspaper and media and dominating one kind of voice and lobbying for it, they are not the NGOs. NGOs are those who are working with people, who are working in jungle.
Okay, so one last question before we go into a break. Modi ji said that development and environment have to go hand in hand. But the history shows that it has not happened.
No.
But as far as the NDA government is concerned, we saw UPA government not giving clearances at all. And the NDA government, it's raining clearances.
No,
So where is
actually
the
this is
balance?
not.
Where is the balance?
There
then?
was one question asked, and the fantastic answer is, in 2012, more permissions were granted than what I have given. In 2013, more permissions were granted than what I have given. What is the difference? Earlier, the file used to be pending here for 3 or 4 years, unnecessarily, without reason. And after something happening, only they were cleared. What we are doing is, we don't see faces of anybody, any project proponent here. We don't allow them. If somebody has to say something, I listen. But we take policy-based decision in a transparent manner. We have made processes online. The office serial is over in my ministry.
So office serial is over, but the bigger question is that where is the environment regulator? That is still not in place.
No, I'll tell you. Environment regulator was proposed by Supreme Court. And we have said that we are okay. And as I said in the first question, answer to your first question, that what was lacking here, many project proponents used to come to me and say, sir, put any conditions, but give permission. I said, how can you do with any condition? Because they were knowing that nobody is going to follow it up on conditions. I want to create an enforcement mechanism which is lacking.
So
and we will create it, enforcement
So at
mechanism.
least Mr. Javadekar has shown that mirror of transparency at the moment, we can say.
Absolutely.
But Mr. Javadekar, I'll have to take a break here. When we come back, we talk about the politics of NDA in the last 1 year. Back in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching To The Point with Union Minister Mr. Prakash Javadekar. Mr. Javadekar, over the last 1 year, the NDA government and particularly all the ministers have been saying that the NDA government has won the trust of the people. But what was the need to go out for a high voltage publicity campaign? If the people had won your trust, this publicity was not needed.
No. It is our duty to report to the citizens who have voted us in power. It's our accountability, exercise of accountability, where we need to report to the electorate that yes, you gave us mandate, 1 year is complete, and we have done this. We have begun on a right note, and what we gained.
But organizing 5,000 Jansabhas,
Because our country is a big country, we have to reach 125 crore people. We are the biggest party of 11 crore members, so we have to reach out, and it is our duty to report to the electorate. वो माँ बाप है, वो माँ बाप है, उनको report करना हमारी कर्तव्य है.
But साल एक शुरुआत अनेक could have been enough to reach out to the people and say that look, this is what Modi government has done.
If newspaper advertisements are suffice, then you are wrong. It is not. Not only TV, not only newspaper advertisement, direct contact, meeting people, millions of people is very important. I was in Karnataka, I was in Kerala, I was in Maharashtra, I was in Tamil Nadu. So everywhere people are hopeful. And what we have won, nobody can underestimate people's participation. We have won the trust of people. And that is, the proof lies in
the pudding.
When you eat.
But
and what is the taste? 15 crore people queued up to open bank accounts. Somebody will say, okay, zero balance, anybody can open. But 8.5, now today 9 crore people have not only opened their accounts, they are paying First time in India, the poor are coming, queuing up banks to pay for insurance, to
Mr.
pay for
Javadekar-
pension fund, and opening 9 crore people in 20 days. It's a world record.
So, Mr. Javadekar, but why is there an impression amongst a larger section of the population that NDA government is a jumlo ki sarkar?
No.
Every day you will find new words, big promises, but
See, we
the
are a
delivery is
thinking government.
scanty.
No, that is what I am saying. 15 crore accounts opened in 100 days and nearly 10 crore people are queuing up to pay premium. Have you heard any time in 60 years? People were queuing up to collect free doles.
Okay.
We have changed the culture. People are reposing faith in Modi's government because they want quality of life to improve. And it's for all. And that is what Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Bima Yojana and the Atal Pension Yojana. First time pensioning the unpensioned, banking the unbanked, securitizing unsecured. It's a huge mission for poor. And not only this, as I told you, tribal, we are giving MSP. For scheduled caste, we are creating venture capital fund. For minorities, we are giving 10 million scholarships.
But sir, the criticism is that all these schemes were existent earlier. They have been
No.
repackaged. They have been remarketed for the people. So these were all old schemes.
Actually, if it is so, then it shows complete bankruptcy of Congress.
Okay.
That's what proves. And it shows complete administrative skill of BJP. That's what is on display.
But you're talking about the administrative skill of the BJP. There is an impression amongst a large section of the people that there is not much of dialogue which is happening between the ministries. The decision making is centered in with one office. There is just one man who acts. There is no second rung of decision making.
This is again, Neelu, you should come here every day. For last 1 year, I have not received call from PMO to do this or that thing. We seek his time.
Okay.
We go to him with new ideas and he gives us more ideas. So we take down new ideas. We start working on those ideas.
But would you say that
Because
decision making in the BJP government is participative
all over.
and consultative?
Everybody is independently functioning. Not only that, when there is a group of minister concept was there in UPA, we have abandoned it because anytime if there is interministerial problem, we just call each other. We meet at somebody's and there is no protocol. Who is senior, who is not. We can meet anywhere. We discuss, have a cup of tea or lunch, and then we take a decision.
So you mean to say that cohesiveness has increased amongst the ministers?
It's a wonderful cohesiveness. There is no ego issue. There is no false prestige we are sitting on. We are working like a team Modi and team India.
But Mr. Javadekar, why is there, I mean, people, senior BJP ideologues like Arun Shourie, they say that the NDA government is all about a Trimurti. It's the Prime Minister, Arun Jaitley and Amit Shah who are governing the entire party and the government.
So
how far is that true?
Arunji is not in party, but he was with us.
But why did he make a statement like that?
No, because the democracy gives everybody right to expression. And in BJP, because he is from BJP.
It's not a case of sour grapes because he didn't get a portfolio in the ministry.
No, I don't charge like that. I say only two things.
Okay.
It's BJP, because he is in BJP, he can say so. Nobody can say this for Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi in Congress.
But so there's also a perception that the NDA government is not transparent. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
There is no CIC which has been appointed, no CVC which has been appointed. Why is there a delay in such appointments then?
No, see,
because then you give opposition the chance to say that, look, this government is not transparent.
No, actually it is on the other way around. The issue is Congress was the worst example of crony capitalism. They distributed coal mines to 140 chosen people.
Okay.
Then they were 2G spectrum was a scam because it was crony capitalism at its worst. And they were appointing all their cronies on all important posts. Now we must think of others also who are capable and who were denied opportunity and who can take country forward with new and fresh mind. So you will need time in the first year, but that doesn't mean that we are making delays.
But the last 1 year's journey, if you see in the hindsight, the Modi juggernaut rolled out last year when the campaign started and it was robust, vibrant, and suddenly we saw it losing out somewhere when your government goofed up on the land acquisition bill. Do you think that the government goofed up really?
No, because I'll
Why
tell
do you say so?
Because farmers are very happy with the bill. Farmers are happy.
But on the ground, the situation is different.
No, it is they are happy. Who are not happy? Those who have lost election. Who are not happy? Those who have lost out. Congress made this 2013 bill and they lost all seats. So will you say that because they passed land acquisition bill, that is why they failed the electoral test
but Mr.
and now they are
Javadekar-
gaining popularity? No, true.
Right.
The truth of the matter is, for last 50 years, I was also 40 years, I was part of the farmers movement where we fought for destitutes, for complete RINR package, and that is what is given. It is not only fourfold price which is given, it is 20% of the developed land will be given back to the farmer, which will fetch him at least 20-fold of compensation what we are paying today. One legally binding.
And this all is without the consent clause,
Yes, no,
the social impact assessment.
One minute. That also, that's a good question. Then we are giving 2,000 rupees per acre for 30 years as annuity, plus one job legally. And fourth, importantly, it was Congress bill which made exception for 13 laws, 13 activities, that there will not be public consent.
But sir, if all
They
these
have-
points what you're mentioning,
Yeah.
if you have convinced the farmers on the ground,
Yeah.
then why have you given the opposition a handle to come back? It was a dormant opposition when Modi ji came to power. People said that there was no opposition at all with the huge mandate which BJP got. But suddenly when the debate started rising on the land acquisition bill, the opposition became rejuvenated. It was a dormant opposition which has come back to life.
No, they may think so because in Rajya Sabha the equations are always different. So we know very much that in Rajya Sabha it's a test. And so one or the other issue will be picked up by opposition and which can bring opposition together. But now let us see. The joint
The
committee
numbers
is
will
on.
change in Rajya Sabha as well.
The joint committee is on, and by monsoon session I am very hopeful that the bill will get passed.
Okay. Now coming to the fact that there is another accusation against the BJP government that BJP is talking in two languages. On one side, you talk about the minority schemes, and on the other side, there are people like Yogi Adityanath and Sadhvi Prachi who are elevated to the post of the party executives after their hate speeches. So, is there no ambiguity in what the party is talking about?
Even recently, Prime Minister has very categorically said that such kind of hate speech are uncalled for, they are not acceptable, and I think that's the lesson. That's what we want, that nobody should do this.
But how would you defend the elevation of Yogi Adityanath and Sadhvi Prachi?
No. You are mixing two facts which are contrary, different. They are representing their constituency. They are leaders in their own respect. But everybody who is a leader,
Right.
his every sentence is not a party line.
So, you distance yourself from what they have said, basically.
We are not this. We are saying that this is unacceptable. Yes.
Okay.
It is not just distancing. We don't shy away from the fact. We say it openly that this is not acceptable.
Okay. Coming to the foreign policy bit, on the foreign policy front, the government has done extremely well. PM has been lauded. But what he has been criticized for is that why does he make political statements on the foreign soil? For example, when he said and he went that Indians were ashamed of being Indians till the time BJP government came to power. How would you really defend?
He said it that this was the public perception earlier.
Okay.
Some people used to say this. When you are referring to something, it is not your opinion. How we will say that we are ashamed of? No. Though it was Congress was a bankrupt party and ruling the country for so many years. But still, when outside we were defending even their decisions. But people are free. And when you refer to some people saying something, as you are asking me, people are saying this, people are saying this. So we are also saying people are saying this.
Because there was a
but
huge
that is
reaction
not
on
true.
social media itself.
No, but that
also
is,
on this.
see, one has to read complete story. For Modi, for 13 years, he suffered because people quoted him wrong.
Okay.
And there are hundreds of examples like that. So he is very actively telling, and people are lauding. Manmohan ji also visited, or other prime ministers also visited the same number of countries and same days of outside India. But here is more impact. What can you do?
So, but are you happy with the way media is projecting the NDA governance at the moment and NDA the Prime Minister, the ministers, the way they are being covered at the moment?
I think I'm very happy because I believe in power of media also. It takes us everywhere. And your first question was why you led the high voltage campaign. Actually, it is the media which planned for 15 days programs on Modi, because they also bother about TRP. So they put the programs on Modi government, and therefore we are just responding and participating in your campaign, not our campaign.
Okay. It was a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Javadekar.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to Rajya Sabha TV.
Thank you.
So that's it on this episode of To The Point. See you next time with another personality. Goodbye and thanks for watching.